Don't know, because we don't have a performance reviews or anything like that. It's hard to judge of who's doing a good job and who's not doing a good job, and how you can compare my work to yours to make who's running what better. There's no standard that you can fight for to push a case forward as such. It's very much on a, I think it will come down to, let's say, higher management, personal level, who they see that builds better relationships, who they see they work stronger with. But between workers, I don't think there's much that they can do.
So basically, you are sharing the same problem with other colleagues. You have an open discussion about it, and you feel that the selection process is going to be based on the relation
that you have with
the senior management and what sort of exchange you have with them, basically.
Yeah, that's what I think.
That's what's going to come down to. So
that's my personal opinion, because of the fact that there is no performance reviews. You can be doing a terrible job and nobody's telling you about it, or you could be doing the best job in the world and you don't know about it. There is no criteria to say, well...
If we talk about... If I'll take you to a totally different aspect of this. If we talk about the staff, was the selection process based on the social exchange between the senior managers and first line managers, maybe, with the staff? Was that selection down to that basically element?
For people in what position? For people to go from
like whatever, because team leaders, let's say employees, some redundant, some not redundant. Do you think, or do you feel, or do you believe that the selection process was down to that element, the element of social exchange between the employees and whether it's a first line manager or whether it's senior managers?
Well, no, I don't think so. It was, in terms of the redundancies, it was pools of people that were affected, and every time it was the full timers, and not one person got asked whether should we get this person out as such, or should we pick this person. It was never a choice that you had to make. You just knew that the whole department would be affected. Yeah. So not really in that regard. It doesn't really play.
But in terms of the first line managers, is different, you're saying? So,
I think so.
Okay, because it was different structure and different need. So
that's right.
If there is a choice that a management will have to make, then it will be based on social exchange, but if they have no choice, then they'll go with whatever they've been given, basically, from head office.
Yeah.
What can you tell me about your exchange with senior managers during the transformation? Your relations with the senior managers, did it improve more during the transformation? Did you think you had to get closer in a way to maybe just stay on the safe side?
I've probably stepped into their office a bit more, asking questions to find out what answers I can in turn give to other staff who are asking. It's kind of, in a way, you depend on each other to be the source of information, to communicate a bit better. If everyone's affected by change, and you need to work together to deal with the staff, and it's in a way I suppose you communicate a bit more. Communication's grown a bit when it came to this, but in terms of the relationship, I think it's been the same. Don't think it's changed.
During the transformation, employees interact and touch base with senior managers probably on a daily or weekly basis. The exchange between employees and senior managers may form certain expectations and alliances. Some of these interactions probably involve your role, your future within the organization. If an employee having an exchange if they're having that sort of relationship with senior managers, and the employee is below you and that senior manager is above you, and let's say, for example, if they're ever having a problem, and these problems being discussed with the employee instead of discussing it with you, or let's say if the employee have a problem and instead of discussing it with you, they go and discuss with the senior manager. So if there is a bypass process, how would you feel about that? If there is a bond between one person top of you and a bond with one person below you, how would you feel about this?
Well, I mean, we spoke about this earlier. If you feel comfortable talking to somebody above somebody else, whether they're higher on the ladder or not, you're going to speak to that person first. Mm-hmm. And obviously, if you feel you've got a more personal relationship with that person, sure, you're going to go straight to them. In a way, it's probably disappointing if somebody surpasses you and doesn't come to you as the first point of call. Mm-hmm. But if I've felt a few times that sometimes you're better off going to higher because they can probably give you more answers. They can answer questions that I wouldn't know about. Mm-hmm. So I think it's on a case-by-case basis, but if it's just a general question, it could be disappointing to see that people are going above you, overlooking you, and just going to the top for something that you could have answered for them.
How would that reflect on your role? That person...
Well, that obviously could mean that you're not approachable, that you may not have anything to say, you may just be there as a authoritative figure, but not as somebody that the staff can relate to or the staff can go to. So it can reflect negatively on you, of course, depending on what the communication is.
Yeah. Do you encourage an open door policy, or you think people should follow the chain of command, and basically the group below you go to you and then you pass the information to the top, and that's how it rolls? What do you think should work best? Everyone should be going to everyone? Or do you think a chain of command should be the way to go?
Well, I think chain of command should be the natural way of going, because if you've got questions, you go to the first person above you that could potentially answer them. When they don't know the answer, then yeah, sure, go direct them to go above you, or you can go and take that battle for them to senior management. But certain managers prefer to just have the staff go directly to them, and knowing that, yeah, you can just advise the staff if they want to speak to somebody in senior management, go straight there. There's no point beating around the bush or asking other people if they just want to have a word with senior management.
Now that we've talked about the nature of exchanges and its impact on your role during the transformation, I'd like to find out about the process and the context of exchange, reasons and benefits of exchange. Let's talk a little bit about yourself now. In your view, why would the Nata employee build a social exchange with you?
Why would they?
Why would they build a social, on a personal level and a work level? What can you offer to other employees, other colleagues of yours? How can you, what do you give for them to, how do you attract them to you?
Well, just by communication. I mean, you obviously find out, having worked there for X amount of time, you find out who the staff are, they know who you are, what you like doing, what you don't like doing, what common goals or things you like. So from that aspect, you basically, it's on a personal thing. You, for example, you discuss soccer with people that like soccer. You discuss fishing and camping with people that like that kind of stuff. It's all through